Now, there are 5 signs and symptoms that I believe you should never cover up with a medication. And of course, before you take any action with this information, check with your doctor. But symptoms are one of the ways that your body communicates to you. And if you suppress the symptom, you cover up the communication. And sometimes the medication creates more harm than good. And so when I talk about these 5 symptoms, there are much better natural solutions out there, which I will also talk about. But one thing you have to realize is that a symptom is not the cause. It's a symptom. And it's an indication that there's a problem. So you always want to dive in and see what is causing this problem. So let's start with number 1, having a stuffy nose. A lot of the medications for sinus problems actually causes shrinkage of congested blood vessels, okay? The problem is they usually only work for 3 days, and then you would develop a tolerance for that medication, and either you need more medication or it just doesn't work anymore. Not to mention giving you other side effects like insomnia, like high blood pressure. So if you have a stuffy nose, I would definitely try something natural first. There's certain type of nasal sea salt rinses that you can use. I just did a video on using a nebulizer, which I'm going to put a link down below. Very important video if you have any type of respiratory problems. So a nebulizer takes a liquid and turns it into a mist. So it can invade your sinuses and your lungs and really penetrate a lot deeper. But there's a great combination of using garlic oil, iodine, black seed, sea salt, and colloidal silver. All right, next one is the common cold or a flu. Now, the common cold or the flu are viruses. And if you treat a virus infection with an antibiotic, you're wasting your time and you're going to create a lot of side effects because so many people are developing antibiotic resistance. And there's even 35,000 people a year in the US that die from antibiotic resistance. So the overuse of antibiotics causes your microbes to adapt, grow stronger. And it's very similar to what's happening out there with using pesticides with different plants. The pests become resistant, the weeds become resistant, and they don't work because nature is always trying to evolve and survive and counter and develop certain mechanisms to survive stronger. So for the common cold, for the flu, you definitely want to start with vitamin D. I think a lot of the flu in the winter is really just a vitamin D deficiency because one of the symptoms of low vitamin D is increased susceptibility to viral infections. And it also creates a great weakness for your own immune system. I mean, just chicken soup, for example, has the ability to suppress neutrophils and concentrate neutrophils in certain parts of your body to increase your immune system and overcome certain types of viral infections. Now, neutrophils are the main line of white blood cells for any infections. Neutrophils are involved in all the mucus that you generate. And so chicken soup is a very simple, natural thing that you can do. But the other things that I always recommend are definitely vitamin D, D3. I would take at least 20,000 international units. Zinc, at least 40 milligrams. I would be doing garlic. I would do vitamin C, a natural vitamin C, at least 500 milligrams. And I would do that on a regular basis. Really good for viral infections. All right, let's talk about constipation. I had a lady who came to my office years ago that was so constipated, she would go every single month. Okay, a month. I'm not kidding. Now, she didn't even come in for constipation. She came in wanting to lose weight. And I said, no. We have to focus on constipation because you're not going to lose weight if you're not going to the bathroom. And even over-the-counter laxatives just stop working for her. One of the problems with laxatives is the side effects. You can lose electrolytes. You can have rebound constipation. It can inactivate your own muscles and nerves in your colon, your large intestine, and cause some dependence on that laxative, especially if you're doing a medication versus a natural herbal laxative, which works a lot differently. But there's some real natural things that I would always try first. One would be a prebiotic, which is like vegetables. and a probiotic, which is friendly bacteria. Now, if you combine both of those together, you have things like sauerkraut or fermented vegetables. Very, very good for constipation. Your microbes help you break down fiber. They help you break down foods. They help make vitamins. But if you don't have the right diversity of microbes, you can get easily constipated. I mean, think about what happens after you take an antibiotic. It wipes out your friendly bacteria, and one big side effect is constipation. Another thing that will help constipation is a lot of potassium. The other thing that will do it would be MCT oil. It creates a laxative effect. And then also bile salts, purified bile salts. One way that you know you're taking too many bile salts is that it creates a laxative effect. But many times you might be constipated just because you don't have enough bile. Bile helps to lubricate the colon. Vitamin B1 can also help the pumping action of the colon, the peristalsis, and also intermittent fasting. If you're eating so frequently with snacks and you're just cramming all this food into this pipe that's literally, close to 30, 35 feet, then maybe your colon never has a chance to reset and clean out. So intermittent fasting is very, very important to kind of reset the whole system. And a lot of people get rid of their constipation when they start intermittent fasting. All right, next topic is insomnia. Over-the-counter sleep aids, okay, medications. Many times they'll use repurposed medication like antihistamines that were used for allergies, but they found one of the side effects is drowsiness. And now they repurpose it for a sleep medication. The problem is there's major side effects, especially when you wake up. I remember when I was in high school, I had a job working at the Kenosha, News. I don't think it was the Kenosha Gazette. It might have been the Kenosha News. I would have to go there third shift, okay, and help assemble the newspaper downstairs for delivery in the morning. And I'll never forget, this was in the wintertime when it was like 20 below zero. And so I had to drive at 20 below zero, take the battery into the house and then put it back in my car to then drive to the Kenosha News at 2 o'clock in the morning. The problem is I had to get some sleep before this. So what did I do? I used an antihistamine to try to get some sleep. All it did was make me completely drowsy when I was trying to work, and it didn't help me sleep one iota. But a lot of different medications that they use for insomnia are just repurposed, like anti-anxiety medication, antidepressants, okay, have certain side effects of making you tired. And so this is what people are taking to help them sleep. These have major side effects. They slow the central nervous system down. They can cause dependence and addiction. So there are much better things to use, like vitamin D before bed, like 20,000 IUs of vitamin D, really good for sleeping. Doing physical work to actually get your body tired, especially if you were an athlete. If you were an athlete, let's say in high school or college, and you are 40, 50 years old, and you have not kept up that level of physical activity, your mitochondria are so large that they generate so much energy that you're going to have a hard time sleeping. So you're going to have to do more physical work or exercise to drain out this energy so you can sleep. Also, getting the infrared from the sun can increase your melatonin. If you have not seen my video on that, very important video, I put that down below. Also, celery is a great remedy for sleep, like 4 stalks of celery in the evening. Getting your breathing calmed down when you sleep, very, very important. You can control the autonomic nervous system by regulating your breathing through your sinuses and slowing it down and relaxing. I have a really good video on that one as well. I'll put that down below as well. And magnesium is also a good remedy for sleeping. And the last symptom I'm going to talk about is a fever. A fever is a normal body reaction to an infection, usually, and your body realizes that these viruses, these pathogenic viruses, cannot survive in high levels of heat. So your body is just heating up to help you get rid of them. Your own body's microbes can live in heat, but viruses cannot. So it's a real good mechanism for wiping out viruses. And then when you take something like NSAID or acetaminophen or aspirin, you're basically increasing the duration of infection. You are weakening your own immune system. Having a fever is part of what's called the acquired immune system. The acquired immune system is just training for your white blood cells. So many people freak out when they get sick or when their kids get sick, but getting sick is a normal immune reaction to the environment. As long as you give your immune system a chance to overcome this infection, so you don't want to kill off the fever right away, then you can start strengthening your immune system. The real problem with complications from pathogens is other comorbidities like insulin resistance, like other health problems, weaknesses within other systems. Whether you're a diabetic, whether you're grossly overweight, whether you have a history of heart problems, that's when you have problems with immune reactions. So just another reason why you should focus on getting healthy and strengthening your immune system. Now, if you have not seen my immune system video, which has been very popular, check it out. I put it right here.